Welcome back, everyone. Some more back to back technical difficulties, but that's okay. It's all good. Again, not too far in. You can pretty much auto draft our first round anyway, so didn't miss anything at the 1 and 2 with CD Lamb. Draft is as standard as it could be in the second round, nothing crazy. I think we're going to go Mike Evans here. The reason we go Mike Evans here instead of Devon A-Chain is because Mike Evans week 16 is versus Dallas. So potential little week 16 correlation there. That's something that's gonna not be the main point of emphasis for me this year, but it's definitely going to be used as a sort of tiebreaker. If I like, so comparing this spot this year to this spot last year, I wasn't considering week 16 at all last year, so I'm probably going to end up on just a talent v talent clip of Devon and Evans, like pretty 50-50. But this year, it's going to look way different because as a tiebreaker, that has to factor in at least a little bit for me. You know? Like, it shouldn't be the main thing that we're building around because it doesn't make sense. Like, we figured it out last year. I talked about this in one of my videos recently where it's already been solved. We're doing too much. We are trying to fix the wheel. Like there's in my opinion, week 16 that's just like a small edge, you know? Like week 16 it's just a small edge because if you end up having a team that scores 190 points in week 16, congratulations. You're moving on to week 17 and that's fucking it. Obviously, you want to make week 17. You draft, so you make week 17. No one is drafting out here, or at least you shouldn't be, to just min cash. You're we're playing in rooms that are 2 out of 12 advance rate. So you're already at a 1 in 6 of getting out of your first pod. And when you do that, guess what? It's a less than 10% chance that you move out of the next round. And then a less than like 6 or 5% chance you move out of the next round. So when you hit the nuts, if you've spent all your eggs in the week 16 basket, what was the point? Like, you get your money back guaranteed making week 17, but why would you not want to make the focal point of your draft to win the tournament if you can? That's why I'm saying people are trying to fix the wheel out here. We already solved it. Week 17 is what matters. Make sure to have some relevant week 17 stacks and be good at drafting the best players. That's very important. That is a very important one. A very overlooked one. How Xavier Worthy's ADP is starting to move down? Don't know. Beats me. We are now at the point of the season where there is 4th round Josh Allen. This shouldn't be happening. I mean, look at this run. Look at this non-receiver run. This is crazy. It's really a dead range for a receiver. It really, because once Zay Flowers and Tank Dell get picked, there's like nothing in the middle. It's just T. Higgins. And then everyone's just deciding that T. Higgins was not the pick. It was everyone else, and definitely agree with that. T. Higgins' situation is pretty weird right now. He's not guaranteed to be on the team next year. I was really hoping to get Amari Cooper. That's very disappointing. A-Chain and Amari are week 17 partners, so what do we do here? I think it's Pickens. My plan's to go Pickens, then Worthy. I'm not sure how much of the time he's going Worthy here. He went Kirk instead of Worthy. We love that. But Pacheco's still being on the board. I need the receivers though. Or I I don't need, I want. But I mean, it's like gun to your head. Who do you want week 17? It's hard not to say Xavier Worthy, man. It's hard not to say Xavier Worthy. Like, what if he just has the best rookie receiver season of all time? You know, like, why is that not in his range of outcomes? His ceiling, I don't know if we have had a rookie receiver with this, like, misjudged of a ceiling. Maybe ever. If he is good at football and good enough to get a 20% or better target share on the Chiefs, it's over. It is so over. He is going to be such a smash. All he needs is the opportunity. That's all he needs. And it's so lined up for him with Rashee Rice just deciding that he doesn't want to have a life anymore. It's so lining up for him. Also, Xavier Worthy and George Pickens, their week 17 matchup. It's nice to have. It's nice to have. So our week 17s that we got are Philadelphia, Carolina, and Cleveland. Those are our week 17 matchups. Missing Philadelphia is probably the only one I'll be trying to get a tertiary piece thereof. And I'll probably be trying to get that through Dallas Goedert if I had to imagine. Because I'm definitely getting Dak on this team, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting Jake Ferguson as well. 95, 98. Can I, like, what's Dak's situation right now? 87. That's like underpriced for him, in my opinion. But can I push Dak? No one wants to take him. Because the problem with taking Dak is you have to take Jake Ferguson ahead of ADP if you don't have CeeDee Lamb. Because there's no way to make it sexy where I don't end up with Dak Prescott on my team. Just with how the ADPs end up working out. Because Jake Ferguson is going near Dak Prescott. He's at 85 ADP. Dak is at 87. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Through positional advantage, it doesn't even make sense, man. Like, are we just? Unless Jake Ferguson has breakout year. Jake Ferguson breakout. Okay. Oh, I think we go George Kittle here. Zamir White also a great option. I think it's George Kittle. He just seems like best player available. Does this throw a wrench into any of our Dallas Goedert thinking? Potentially. I mean, definitely potentially. Am I going Dak here? Dak is worth a lot. Dak and CD, those were just the pieces you needed last year. And if I'm taking CD at the 102, I'm kind of saying that I definitely need Dak as well. So we're just going to lock in Dak. Not really going to give someone the opportunity to fuck me over here. Not going to let it happen. We're just going to take him around before we should. Hope to get him because it is paramount to this team that we get Mr. Dak Prescott. We could have went Baker, Brock Purdy. We could have guaranteed went Brock Purdy. which is interesting if we chose to go a different direction here. Um, if I don't go Dak Prescott, I'm definitely considering going Keon. Zamir White was at the top of my board too. JSN as well. Brian Thomas. I mean, there's a lot of really good skill position players in this range. This feels like one of those ranges that's just going to have a lot of hits. JSN at the 79. He's someone as he just feels like a surefire riser to me within like the next month. Like there's no way that JSN is not going in the 6th round within the next month. There's just no way. And if he's not, that is a blessing by the universe because he should. The answer is just he should at least be going in the 6th round. The fact that he's going behind Vlad McConkey, Roma Dunze, Godwin, that entire tier shouldn't be happening. Like there's two different answers here for me is A, Jordan Addison and up, they should be going higher. Okay. And then JSN also should be going with them, right under Jordan Addison, higher as well. And I could totally see a world where we're drafting before the start of the season, JSN at the end of the 5th round. He was creeping up into the 4-5 turn / the early 5th last year as a rookie. Like let's not forget. Let's not forget. JSN is a incredible prospect, and last year, was that his fault? Who knows? I think he could have been better, obviously, but he wasn't really getting used in the ways that you'd like to get him see. He wasn't getting used in the ways that we'd like to see him get used, and that led to very poor fantasy production and definitely left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, I'd assume. That's why he's going a lot lower this year because they bring in the Washington offensive commander. Michael Penix has thrown 4,000 yards multiple times in the past 3 seasons and has had multiple 1,000-yard receivers. It is going to be a very pass-heavy offense. Very pass-heavy. And JSN should be the number 2. Like, there's no way that this year he is behind Tyler Lockett. That wouldn't be cool. That would not be cool. We're definitely hoping to get Jonathan Brooks here. It just feels like they're going to push Chuba to the side, unfortunately. That's not what I wanted to happen. I was a big Chuba fan pre-NFL draft. But them drafting Jonathan Brooks that high in the 2nd round, I mean, you just got to think, right? Like, they want to give this guy a lot of the touches. So you just got to, in my opinion, just lean into what they're telling us. You see, but the thing is, though, is we're 1 pick away. I'll refrain from bringing something else up. We'll focus on this pick. So we could go Cortland Sutton here. I think I like Cortland Sutton. I think he's a receiver tier break because he is another person that is just a surefire number 1 receiver. Like there's no one competing with Cortland Sutton that's like, okay. Like on day 1, there's no one that's going to be better than Cortland Sutton. So by week 17, is Cortland Sutton still going to be the number 1 receiver on the Broncos? If I could bet on that, I would, for sure. I think he will be. I think he's the best receiver on the roster. Do I think he's the best receiver on the roster by far? I'm not really confident to say that, but I definitely think that he'll eat a solid quarter of the targets from Bo Nix because he just is incredible. So and he performed really well last year. A lot of touchdowns. And that's on an offense that did not have touchdowns. Like the Broncos offense was very, very poor last year. Very poor. And he was still able to produce at a very, very high rate for fantasy, which is kind of unexpected. The amount of touchdowns he was getting, we definitely we're going to be thinking that he was going to more so get there through volume and just overall yards, but he kind of did a mixture of both, and I feel like it was more alpha than people thought he was going to be. I mean, I'm definitely speaking for myself with that, and yeah, I don't know. I was very impressed last year. You know, him a couple years removed from his ACL, and we could just be back to Cortland Sutton legit being in conversation for being like one of the top 15 receivers in the NFL. Like he's totally in that conversation. After last year going into this year, like I feel like the door is wide open for him. And that's not reflected in his ADP at all, frankly. Like he should be going like where? Who let's do the one-to-ones. This entire range, Cortland Sutton is better than all of these players. Receiver wise, all of them. Is he better than D Hop? That's where you start to like get question marks because I don't know. That's DeAndre Hopkins. That's one of the best receivers we've seen this century. So I don't really know. He is older, but that's still Nuke. So I don't know. I'm not taking Cortland Sutton personally over Nuke this year, but I don't really think I'm gonna be presented with that decision. So that's it's kind of sweet. Um, Cortland Sutton definitely seems like a riser to me as well, where it just doesn't like what path besides him getting injured is going to lead to him going lower in ADP. I don't think there is one. There would have to be two separate reports of like Troy Franklin and another Denver like pass catcher that they're the best players we've ever seen. You know, like I don't know what it would take for Cortland Sutton to be not in the limelight for the Denver Broncos offense. Devin Singletary or Gus Edwards? Um, it's a bit of a toughie for me. It is no longer tough. We are just now going to be going Gus Edwards. uh, right? Like, I think I'm just going Gus here. I mean, I could go AD Mitchell. I should probably just go AD Mitchell. Maybe Jacoby Myers. Let's go Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is the 2A, 2B on this team for sure for the Raiders. My heart wants to go Dallas Goedert there and just say it'll be fine at running back. But I think structurally, we kind of got to take running back there. Starting to lack a little bit. He doesn't have a tight end, so I'm hoping that we're just forcing him to go a different direction tight end here. And then he also doesn't pick Jerome Ford. He still might be picking one running back. I don't know if there's a world where he picked two running backs here. I like Muth on this team because we already have Pickens. So we have the Pickens worthy Muth week 17. Those are nice pieces to have on a week 17 if that game is high score. Third cube is he so he's just auto drafting? Is he gonna auto draft? Fuck me. Is this even auto draft? Okay, I think he auto drafted Justin Herbert and then picked Jerome Ford. That is unfortunate. Um Yeah, I think we're going Marshawn Lloyd. I think he's the best pick on the board there. It's either him or Jermaine Burton. You could argue for sure I'm supposed to go Jermaine Burton there. But I'm trying to wish cast that one of Jermaine Burton or Troy Franklin's gonna be on the board when it comes around here at 167 or 170. I mean, it's really wishful thinking. Maybe Troy Franklin, because people don't like picking Troy Franklin for whatever reason. It's there's something going on with that. I don't know what's going on with that, but there's something going on with that. The NFL draft didn't like taking Troy Franklin. So far, it's been proven us drafters don't like taking Troy Franklin. I don't know what it is. He's set up to like smash so hard, and no one is that all in. I feel like, at least in the best ball community, I don't know anybody that's like outside of my circle that's like really all in on Troy Franklin. It makes sense though if you want to be in the camp of Troy Franklin is going to be an insane piece for the Broncos next year because I mean he's tied to his college quarterback and um an NFL scout said, and I love this quote. It was very hard to assess Bo Nix because Troy Franklin was always open. That was his quote. Is he still going to be able to win like he was at Oregon State at the NFL level? Probably not. But if he can do like even half of that, it's pretty good NFL production, man. Because he was the king at Oregon. Let's gas him up a little bit here. He was the fucking guy just last year at Oregon. And now he's coming to a roster that outside of Cortland Sutton, it's really not a strong receiver lineup. Like, granted, what you think of Marvin Mims does affect what you think of Troy Franklin, but just in a vacuum, looking at Troy Franklin, man, how could you not just fuck with that? It's a great situation. It is a great situation. Dude, if BTXJ does not take a tight end, it'd be absurd. It'd be absurd. Baker goes to the 152. A little sadness. A little sadness for us. Troy Franklin, just he fell to us. Shout out, shout out the big man for bringing Troy Franklin home. Yeah, he goes double tight end. Yeah. We probably go RB here. Which one we go is definitely the question. I'm kind of J.K. Dobbins or Antonio Gibson here. Maybe it's just Antonio Gibson. J.K. Dobbins feels kind of bitch made compared to going Antonio Gibson, to be honest. Just because it's like you already like if I pick Chuba, you already have Brooks. If I pick Dobbins, you already have Edwards. The Edwards Dobbins situation is a little more. I'm a little more inclined to pick Dobbins than a Chuba Hubbard because I truly feel like one of either Gus or Dobbins could just entirely eat the role and then just become the Giga Smash. Whereas for Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard, it really does feel like they're just going to phase out Chuba Hubbard, unfortunately. Um, so that's that. That's that. But for the New England Patriots, like they brought in Antonio Gibson to be the third down running back that catches passes out of the backfield. And I would not be shocked to see this team give him routes in the slot. It sounds crazy. I would not be shocked to see them line up Antonio Gibson either in the slot on the outside, how often is he going to be lined up in those situations? You know, probably not often, right? But I think that's in his range of outcomes for them just to start using him more as a pass catcher. They did draft a lot of receivers. So I think that might be less of a thing this year. But he's very good at football and he's going to be on the field. I am a huge Ramondre fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Ramondre's ADP with where he's going right now relative to some other players, but I think Antonio Gibson coming in there and being the third down running back is going to be very, very beneficial. We're going to be going Keaton Mitchell there. I feel like he was the best play available for us. We're going to be going Bo Nix here. Not letting someone cuck us on Bo Nix here. That would be devastating. After we draft Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin, man, that'd be tragic. That would really be tragic. I think trying to map out like your best possible draft in rounds like 17, 18, even 16, just thinking about how you could have approached this draft better without being strictly anecdotal, I think is a good thing to do, because the draft is still fresh in your mind, so you can think about the little things that you might forget about in X amount of hours. So what I'm thinking about right now is I think the one pick that I don't love, even though it's good value, is my Jacoby Myers pick. I think if you 1-to-1 that, and I would just say I'd probably much rather have another running back that was in that range over Myers. And then if you substitute, that means I'm now not going to be going one of these RBs. So like I'm not going to be going Marshawn Lloyd anymore. So I pick 146. Give me, and I was thinking about it, Jermaine Burton. If you just so give me Jermaine Burton over Marshawn Lloyd, and then instead of Jacoby Myers, let's see who was in that range. Instead of Jacoby Myers, give me Blake Corum. Because if I go Tyjae Spears, he probably goes Gus Edwards. So I don't think there's probably not a world where I get both of them. Maybe I do though. Maybe he does just go Jacoby plus Adane. I don't think so though. That'd probably be too many receivers for him, if I had to guess. Yo, I think I was supposed to get Greg Dulcich there. Oh man. Okay, well, whatever. I was actually gonna pull the trigger on that team. I was like, you know what? Let's get a Greg Dulcich share, because Bo Nix is so cheap that I can like get that boosted correlation at tight end with Dulcich. But it's Chigo Okonkwo. Hopefully that doesn't matter at all, but man. All right. Well, had a bunch of great picks. So wrap up the team. 2673. Classic. What I think is GTO, the optimal build. Dak Prescott, top 100 QB. Then we rounded out with Bo Nix, our 17th round QB, who is going way too low right now. He should be going way higher than that. Then we got Devon Achane, Jonathan Brooks, Gus Edwards, Marshawn Lloyd, Antonio Gibson, and Keaton Mitchell for our RB room. Then we got CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Xavier Worthy, Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers, Troy Franklin for our wide receiver room. Love that wide receiver room. It's probably one of the best wide receiver rooms I've drafted in a while. Like just having that combination of 7, it feels really nice with 3 of them being correlated with my quarterback. Feels good. And then at tight end, we have George Kittle, crazy value in drafts right now. He should definitely be going higher. Muth and Chigo Conquo. So, little 2-6-7-3 feels like a great team to me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the draft. Hopefully, you liked the video. Catch you in the next one. Like and subscribe.